There's quite a lot of renovating to be done, isn't there, Father? Your house contractor there has shown a wide variety of pending jobs.
I've ordered Nyx to supervise that list. Entirely her problem, boy, and likely yours. How does it feel, knowing that your rampages create the need for so much maintenance?
Feels pretty good now that you mention it. Keeps everybody occupied now.
Go occupy yourself someplace else.
Fucking bet.
You miss me.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Oh, let me catch my breath, bucko. Holy mother of Hades. I took a single step into it, and by the gods, it felt like I was slam-fisted into pure concrete by the indie gods themselves. I don't know whether I like it or not. Jeez, why wasn't I warned? So, yeah, first impressions for my first indie title is, I absolutely regret ever ignoring games like these. Like, what the actual hell, Cherry? You call yourself a gamer? If you can't already tell, my face was just blasted with a whole new world. And it's time I picked up my gear and hauled ass because this ride is gonna be freaking insane. Where the hell do I even start? Holy Jesus. Who was the absolute fiend who decided to keep these games in the dark? I was not about to go my entire life without ever seeing the beauty and absolutely hello world. Mommy Milkies has entered the chat. Who am I gonna fight for keeping her away from me? So, it's been about 3 weeks since I actually started the script, and probably more than 2 months before I even upload this video for one sole reason. I absolutely suck at games. Jesus, this game makes me want to tear my tongue out. I didn't know I was gonna struggle so much in this. I know what you're gonna say. Cherry, indie games are meant to be hard. Well, you can shut. Look, I'm a gamer. Gamers struggle, especially me. Cherry, who has the IQ of a fucking acorn. In this roguelike adventure, you get to play as this guy, who is the son to this guy. And son, I say in quotation marks, because he's not actually her son, technically by lore, to this goth mommy. The whole point to this game is that you're an angsty edgelord teenager who wants to know what it's like to not live in hell. Haha, what a table turner. How the world looks on the surface and how much better it would be if you were to live with your Olympian family. Trust me, kid, once you're up here, you're gonna regret that decision. After all, we got, let me check the script. Let me check. Climate change. The problem is that instead of being able to walk straight out into the world, your father actually built hell to be eternal. Quite literally. Countless, and I mean countless floors, chambers, and layers are preventing you from leaving so easily. On top of that, you got these fucking things to deal with. What is this? A fucking vase? Yo, we make vase enemies now? Yo, pog! So you have no choice but to pick up a weapons, and hack and slash your way out. You have a variety to choose from. Let's see, we have big knife on a stick, knife you shoot with a stick, a fucking cereal bowl, your goddamn hands, and whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. Also, did I forget to mention that your father hates the fuck out of you and constantly throws you into intense death situation and sometimes even traps you in a room where he spawns countless enemies and he contracts big boys to kill you? Fuck, I've seen plenty of strict parents in my life, but I've never seen someone's father literally pay someone to kill their son. But if I'm gonna be honest, it feels pretty good when you defeat them, and basically by doing so, you imply that the contracted mercenaries were absolute trash and it was a waste of his money.
What, you mean the bounties that you've offered up to anybody capable of beating Meg and all your other guardians out there? Don't you think that puts a lot of undue pressure on them, knowing that you've turned them into targets?
They must do better than they have, else they shall be replaced. If they're to grow in their respective roles, they have to know their weaknesses. And so do I. That you collect the bounties for it matters not.
Be sure to add those to the list of words you'll eat someday.
I haven't actually completed this game just yet, and I will continue to struggle completing it, but I was just too excited to make a video on this out of the pure fact that I'm just having way too much fun with this game. It kind of scares me knowing that there was a game like this sitting out there on the game market and I would have just promptly skimmed over it without giving it a second glance. It really comes to show how picky someone like me can be when it comes to having tunnel vision for amazing productions such as Hades, only because they weren't produced by huge multi-millionaire companies. So what makes Hades such a masterpiece that I keep blabbing on and on and on and on about it? Let's break it down into 3 simple categories. 1. Gameplay. 2. Story and development. 3. Everything else. When it comes to gameplay, it really couldn't have been any better. It's so smooth, it's flawless, fluid fighting mechanics, insane game flow, and tons and tons and tons of button mashing for the endless destruction of the puny hell spawns that are constantly bombarding you. Sometimes, as I'm in the middle of the action, I would get so nostalgic because it would get so intense I would forget that I'm playing a roguelike, and instead my mind would drift into a fucking Toho, the genre where it's constant dodging lasers and projectiles like Jesus. Sometimes it gets really hard to the point where I can't keep track exactly, so I end up dying by the stupid lava traps. Ugh! And that's not even the worst part. Don't get me nowhere near started with the fact that fighting bosses and these little fucks fills me with so much fucking anxiety. I feel like I'm in my high school emo phase again. Where was I? Oh, right. The gameplay has given me thoughts of throwing my controller through the window several fucking times, and I'm barely even past the first 3 floors. I haven't progressed further than that because I suck so fucking bad at this game, but I can't put it down because it's so good. Alright, cool and composed, Cherry. Cool and composed. So one thing I have noticed about this game is how for a game with the premise of advancing through repeatedly failing every time I go through the run, it makes me feel like first time going through it. What I mean is that out of many times that I've repeated the runs, I have not felt any repetition whatsoever, which is odd because it's supposed to be about repetition. I think that's why Hades executed the premise so flawlessly. The dialogue never repeats. Every time you talk to someone, it's something completely new, and I find it absolutely amazing. It feels like I discovered a new hidden dialogue section every time, but it's not even the case. Other than the fact that the characters look stunning both art-wise and voice actor-wise, you never really get bored of them. It's like the characters are real people showing real support, as if they were with you the entire time going through it. For every single run, it feels exactly like that. It doesn't help that with every time you return from dying, there is something new to the story of why Zagreus is running away.
Then there is the note, written finally in a hand and voice the likes of which the prince had never seen or heard.
Whether it's a major story or outright small details, that's more reason for you as the player to fulfill his desires. It's a story you had no idea existed until you start plowing through the runs, which is honestly the sole reason why I even bother continuing to play this game. Like, for how repetitive it gets, the upgrades, the story, and the amount of new discoveries I go through is what is forcing my peewee 2-year-old chip brain to continue playing this god addictive game. Not only does it play with my addictive nature, it also plays with my emotions. Emotions I didn't even know existed. When I was so fucking spiteful for a cheeky grease-looking ass spear motherfucker.
Old fiend, you'll walk not one more step toward the light of day, so long as I am here.
2 against 1 seems hardly fair. Well, let's kill him and be done, King.
I will kill you. If you haven't already picked up this game, then what the actual fuck is wrong with you? Get up, grab your itty bitty debt-ridden wallet, and buy this amazing game, or else I'll release your high school emo demon. If you don't understand that reference, then man, you are either way too fucking happy in your life, or you are just one depressing asshole. Either way, I want whatever the fuck you're having, because what I suffered anyway. Hades has got to be one of the best fucking possible ways to get introduced into the indie game scene. I need more indie games in my life, especially one with killer fucking soundtrack, because whenever I go into an intense boss fight in Hades and I hear that beat drop, it was like, alright, who the fuck is trying to throw hands? Oh. Okay, I should be